What is up, guys? Today we're doing starting some work on fixing up this bent tailgate section of the bed. In a previous video I had mentioned I got rear-ended and my tailgate was bent in half and this part was all crumpled up, as you can see. So I had a couple different ideas of how to fix this, but after looking at it and talking to some people, it looks like this whole panel on the back of the bed is its own piece. So under here, it's just thin metal. It wraps up along this seam, and this is really all that's holding this whole part on, is being attached right here. And then this bed, as you can see, had some like automotive adhesive plus tack welds in place. So what we're doing, got a railroad spike, have a chisel, hammer, and some ear pro. And what we're doing is we're just separating this part of the bed up from the slip. Definitely doing some damage, but I mean, it's got to get ugly before it gets pretty, right? So I've got about halfway down separated from here. What's nice is this different color. Once I get everything pulled off and this whole panel pulled off, it should be a lot easier to flatten this out and get this piece straight again. I have a buddy that's pretty good with the metalworking and stuff, and he has an anvil and all the right tools, so hopefully we can combine our two brain cells and straighten this thing out a little bit. All right, dude, about to do some cutting. Got this whole lip separated, and we're gonna go ahead and cut here and cut here so this whole panel can come off to get straightened out. Boom. What's up, guys? I've done some work on this since I've made the last video, so basically what we have ended up doing is cutting off this back portion of the bed right along those lines that I was showing you. Just with the angle grinder, came out pretty freaking kind of straight. And then we have also separated the pinch welds and the automotive adhesive that was holding this lip on. And then once getting all that stuff off, just like did my best to straighten it out. It still is a little bit wavy, but a lot better than it was before. I still need to measure up these sides of the tailgate or of the bed to make sure that they're square. And then for the portion of the bed that we cut off, I straightened it out as much as I could, just on some 2x4s with a framing hammer. And then yesterday I went to my buddy's place, who has an anvil, and we were able to straighten this out pretty damn good. I know it looks like shit, but I mean, it just needs some paint, and once it's back in place, I don't even think you'll notice. But all right, guys, so I'd say it's going pretty good. I just put the tailgate back on to make sure that these tack welds are going to be sitting in the right spot, so they're not all the way welded in. But again, as I've said in previous videos, I'm not a welder, right? So definitely not the best welds, but I think I got it lined up pretty well on both sides. So yeah, boom. I'm gonna go back with an angle grinder, hit all these tack weld, or I might tack weld more and then angle grind a little bit later. But there are some little gaps in there that I'm burning through rather than welding together, so I'm gonna have to figure something out for that. But actually, after I got this all put back together, the first time I had both sides tack welded in pretty good. I thought this side fit really well, and then I got the tailgate back on, but for some reason, well, it was my fault. These little ridges, I had them sitting a little too high, so this tailgate couldn't actually close because this latch was like hitting the top up here, so I couldn't close all the way. But I just cut it back off. Now we still have that super tight fitment, and then once I'm done tack welding, grinding, put a quick thing of spray paint over it. Then I'm just gonna mark this up, take the tailgate off, and probably just zip off like an 1/8 inch, even down under here a little bit too. But yeah, I think it's all right, guys. So this is how we're looking. Just got done doing some grinding. Gonna go back and probably do a couple more welds. Like there's a hole there. I can't even reach this part with my angle grinder, so gonna have to figure that out. But basically the whole time I was just filling in holes like this, like filled the gap, but then it would burn out. I have it on the lowest setting. I have my welder on the lowest setting, but you know, this stuff is pretty thin, so it kept burning through. And then same with this side. I just need to go back in, fill in a couple small spots, and maybe take a file or some smaller grinder to that. But I mean, dude, it's coming along. All right, guys, so I'll show you what we've gotten done so far. So we got the sides all welded in. Still need to do some grinding on that, and definitely need some filler or something, some paint to make it look good. Anyway, so then what we did afterwards was put the tailgate in place, got it as square as we could, and then I threw these self-tapping screws, like pretty much every 4 ridges, just to stabilize it a bit. And then what I ended up doing was taking this jack with a piece of wood to jack up right underneath here, so there's a solid platform. And then as you can see, most of this has a gap on it, so what I was doing is just using a chisel to hammer down the edge to get it flush, and then just throwing some welds on them. So I mean, it'll look a lot better with some grinding, I'll tell you that. But I just ran out of wire in my welders, so I was almost done too. I was just going on the deep parts of the valleys. I was just gonna throw a weld on all those, hit it with a angle grinder, and then probably gonna have to take like a Dremel with a small sanding bit for like these corners, and then I was just gonna slap some paint on it so it doesn't rust. And then I think I'll be able to do a little bit more reworking of the metal after it's all welded in place, probably before paint. So anyway, that's how we're looking. All right, so a couple days later, we're back at it again. After the last video, we had these self-tapping screws in, and then we also had beads or welds every other ridge. And then I put a coat of paint primer or primer filler over all the exposed metal just so it wouldn't rust. But what I noticed is, I mean, there was still a seam everywhere that didn't have welds, and water was getting in there, and it was already starting to rust a little bit. It was starting to look like that over the paint. So I decided to basically wire brush the whole thing and then weld the entire thing. I think my welds are getting a little better. Maybe not that one, but I mean, some of these were starting to look all right. But yeah, doing more welds in these smaller areas definitely caused this to warp a little bit. So now that it's all welded in, I might just like prop some wood underneath it, or and then also put like a jack with a flat piece of wood underneath this, so I can maybe try leveling it out a little bit more. Persuade it with a couple different size hammers. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, that's about the next step, and then just putting some paint back over it. So boom. All right, guys, so here is the almost finished product. really came together fairly well. We still have some fitment issues, especially in the corners. And this gap along here is way bigger in the middle, so this piece, it definitely isn't straight. I never expected it to get 100% straight, but that's all right. I really just wanted to get this tailgate back on here, or get a tailgate on here. This one, as you can see, is pretty rough, but I might try to fix it up just a little bit. And then, yeah, so it still closes. There's no major binding right now. Without the handle, I just gotta squeeze these and it goes in place. But yeah, it actually stays up by itself. This side, oh, I thought this side wasn't working, but maybe it is. But yeah, there's still a couple areas that there's some holes, but I mean, it turned out pretty good. So anyway, if you guys have any tips for me, leave it in the comments, because I don't know, I'm still pretty, well, not super experienced with welding and body fabrication, and I'm sure I did this the hard way, but I mean, it seems to be working. So yeah,